Hey fam, what's up? Ladies, of course, I have another little nugget of wisdom for you today. Upon meeting a man, it's going to identify what type of relationship you guys are going to have, and it also identifies you. My mother always taught me to be a lady. And when I was 12, I think I told this story before, men were coming after me on the street when I turned 12, right? And so I was very much made aware of my womanhood by my mom. She told me things like, don't walk too close to the street because you know a man could snatch you up and grab you in a car. Walk closer to the buildings. If I'm going in the direction of traffic and somebody is, driving alongside and I get nervous, to go back the opposite way. Little things like that. She told me don't pay them any mind. Don't respond. Just walk to school and ignore them. Don't even look at them. That was the best thing she could have told me as far as keeping me safe because she wasn't with me. She had to go to work while I went to school. And so I remember those little things. And so for me to be the type that gives some man attention if he blow his horn, mama told me never do that. I have too much class for that. I'm not a prostitute. And so I would not respond to nothing like that. Any gentleman, he will approach you and talk to you. He beeping horns and yelling out the window, whistling and kissing at you and stuff. No, we don't respond to that. When you respond to these types of things, ladies, what do you think this man is going to do with that information that he gained instantaneously upon meeting you? He's already looking down at you. Okay, I see what she's about. This is going to be an easy mark, easy target. Because if you're responding to that, he already know what your mentality is like. You're not a lady. You're classless and you're easy. That's what he's going to be assuming. And so he can treat you that way for the duration of the time that he wishes to be bothered with you, if you allow it. Because he met you on a disrespectful note. And so that's going to be the whole vibe of the relationship. I'm going to tell y'all this is crazy. I had a good friend. When she told me that mess, I was like, get out of here. I had a good friend who was dating this guy. Now his brother was a nut. Anyway, her boyfriend had a party. So I went to the party and I met the brother. The brother was coming after me, but I was like, no. He want to dance on top of me and stuff. They from the island. And you know, island people have their way of dancing, but I've never been that type of woman. Even when I was out there partying and stuff, I didn't like guys putting their stuff on my stuff and on my body parts and my booty and stuff. I don't like hands on. I don't dance like that. That's intimate to me and that's personal. That's what I would share with somebody that I was in a relationship with. So that wasn't how I got down. But anyway, he was like, oh, she tell me I can't touch her and all of this stuff. She was telling me that he was telling his brother that. I was like, yeah, you can't touch me. But the kind of guy he is, those are the types of guys I enjoy dealing with because I like shutting men like him down. He was the type, he had a nice vehicle. And she told me he was driving his vehicle, and as he's driving, he's on the street going chirp, chirp out the window, yelling at women, right? My thing is this, what woman in her right mind would even respond to that? You get what you get, you know? He chirping, and women would come running. She said they actually come to the car. He would exchange numbers with women, chirping them. He was straight out calling them a bird. Remember that? Chicken head, bird, all these derogatory terms for women that were loose or didn't have much class about herself. This is how he was approaching women. So he knew from the jump what type of relationship he was going to have with them. And so, ladies, this is what this video is about. The way a man meets you is how he going to treat you. The way he meets you is how he treats you. Keep that in mind. If you don't establish that you are a lady and you are to be presented with some class and dignity, he's going to treat you just the way you allow him to. If that man is going, psst, 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 baby, come here. He's driving in a car, come here. And you walk over to that car, he already knows what type of woman you are, especially if he got a nice car. Because that's what drew you in. What drew him in was your body. What drew you in thinking he had money, right? Because he had this nice vehicle. So, I mean, we both have the things that we like. Women have the things that they want from a man and vice versa, right? But upon meeting, it tells a lot. It tells a lot. It's a setting the tone early on. Okay, she's a bird. I'm going to sleep with her because she think I got money. And trust me, he ain't going to give you a dime of it. He's going to sleep with you. You assuming that as you sleep with him because every woman seems to think her vagina is the best vagina in the world and not. Every woman has one. A lot of women know tricks. That's boring to a man. He just wants what he can get for the time being. So if he meets you like that, and that is how he reels you in, he's going to treat you as such. Now, let me tell you something. When I was walking to a friend of mine's house, she was having like a backyard little get together with four of us, four women, right? She was married, and the three of us were single, the three women that she invited over. My way walking to her house, because she was in within walking distance to where I live. My way to her house, I had to tell them this story because I was really intrigued. So I'm walking, and this guy was in the car, but he was at a distance from me. He was at a distance, and he was like, "Excuse me." And I'm like, who is he talking to? Now, I'm living in Brooklyn because, honey, living in the streets of Brooklyn, you got to be careful. You got to carry yourself a certain way. You got to act bad, which, is a part of the living experience. You going to become a little hardened when you living where I was living, right? Anyway, he's like, "Excuse me." And I'm like, and he said, "I don't mean no harm, but if you don't mind, can I get out of the car and come over and talk to you?" Ooh, what? What? Never had I ever experienced anything like that. Now, I have experienced guys in a car and they were like, "Come here, could you I talk to you?" And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." No. And I kept it moving. But this guy asked me, is it okay for him to approach? If I mind if he got out of the car and came over to me and talked to me. Honey, I was intrigued. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I was intrigued. That type of brother is rare. I don't know if he just had good game or he was just a good guy. Either way, that got my attention. I was single, so hey. He got out the car. I told him, I said, "You can approach." And he did. He thanked me for allowing him to stop me and talk to me. And he was like, "I just wanted to talk to you. I was driving by and I came back around because I like what I saw." And I wasn't wearing nothing tight, nothing revealing. I had on a long dress to my ankles, an army fatigue sundress with a little shrug. Yeah, that's what I was wearing. I wasn't wearing anything tight that was enticing anybody on the street or nothing like that. He told me that he liked my appearance. Appearance. He liked my appearance. And that he was like, "I'm going to go back around and see if she would talk to me." And I did. So we're chit-chatting. So I'm watching him now. I'm looking at him because at that time I was in my 40s. I think I was in my mid-40s. And so now that he's out of the car and he's closer to me, I'm seeing that he has a youthfulness about him. So I'm like, I think he's a little young. So I said, "Let me ask you a question before we even go any further. How old are you?" He said, "I'm 28. I said, "Ooh, I am not into that cougar stuff, ladies. I don't want anybody that could be my son or nobody near my daughter's ages. I'm not into that. I like a man who is on my level." Now, a lot of men my age did not have that type of approach, firstly, right? So that would be intriguing to almost any woman, right? So I said to him, I said, "You're 28. I said, "You're closer to my daughter's age." I said, "I have daughters your age and you're a little younger." He was like, "Well, how old are you?" So I told him, I said, "I'm too old for you." I think I was 43 or 44 or something like that. And he was like, "I don't have a problem with that." I said, "Well, I do. I have a problem with it." Such a wonderful gentleman. His whole approach, his whole attitude. He just said to me, "Would you please exchange numbers with me and let's just talk and see where that can go?" I said, "I can't do that, sweetheart. I can't do that because I would look at you as my son. I can't do it." His whole approach, his whole gentlemanly manner, even his clothing. He wasn't no hip hopper with his pants off his butt. Whomever trained that brother, that's the kind of dude most mothers want for their daughters. And I don't even want to call him a dude. That's the kind of man, gentleman we want for our daughters, right? And I was almost tempted to say, "Well, I got a daughter that looks like me. You like to know her?" But I said, no, it wouldn't be right because he approached me and he would have a crush on me while he's talking to my daughter. No, so we can't do that. But my God, when I got to the house, right, the girlfriend who invited us, she's married. Her husband was like, "Man, you crazy. Why you didn't take his number? Dude, that's a nice guy." I was like, he's a child. I don't do that. And my friends were like, "Shoot, yeah, we don't like him young like that." But his whole approach seemed to be very like intriguing. They were like, "Maybe you should have got his number." But I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. But let me tell you something. That's the kind of meeting that I always had in mind. I'm not letting no guy disrespect me. I've never responded to somebody in a car. Come to my car, come talk to me. I'm like, are you kidding? They always know who you are by the way you respond, ladies. Don't be out here letting somebody treat you like you dust on the bottom of their shoe. Carry yourself better. Think better. Be higher. Elevate yourself. Sis, elevate yourself. Stop being desperate and lonely and just going off with any old body. Somebody in the car hanging out the window. That remind me of that TLC song. Hanging at the passenger side with his best friend's Jeep. Time to holler at me. That is so ratchet and disrespectful. If you're carrying yourself with dignity, that brother, like he did me, he would step out of that car and approach you. He was like, I'm driving and she's walking. I want to get to know her. He would step out of that vehicle. That's the kind of aura that you must have so you can attract those types of guys. Stop letting guys from the jump know what they're getting into, find you an easy mark, and using you, ladies. Come on, do better, do better. Peace, love, and blessings.